Oh, hello YouTubers. Today was meant to be my Q&A's part 2 video, the answers. I've gotten up, come out to jump on the bike, and one of my indicators has been ragged off. Just the one. That I don't get. It was a little bit wobbly anyway, but I believe it's been ragged off because it's not actually here anymore. If it had just eventually fallen off by its own free will, it'd be on the floor next to the bike where it's been for 3 days. Instead, I've come out to the bike and the ends of the wires that are left hanging out of the bike are all like shitted up and nasty. And it looks like someone's just come along, put their hand to it and yanked on it and then done a runner down the road with it. Because the rubber that holds it on, it's not like most indicators with a plastic holder. It's got like a little piece of rubber so that they wobble basically, which is weird. And someone's come along, and it looks like someone's just come along and ragged it because there's a long piece of it left, so I'll probably have to take that bit off. But yeah, so today's Q&A is on hold for 1 second while I go over to a bike shop to ask them if they've got any indicators I can buy off them and have fitted, as I kind of need indicators. Suffolk Andy. There's only a few women I actually know who find the smell of petrol engines and WD-40 arousing. Unfortunately, my missus isn't one of them. She likes the smell of petrol, don't get me wrong, but no, it did nothing for her. Yeah, that's it. That's all I remember. I'm so distracted. Liz Cuz. Basically, no, WD-40 doesn't work against sweat. It really doesn't. It's a lubricant. The holiday season hasn't actually happened for me yet. Obviously, December is always going to start crappy for me because of losing my dad. But this year hasn't been too bad, I suppose. Christmas should be good. I am working it. I'm working 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. 2 days, 2 nights. But on the plus, that's all I'm working over Christmas. So I'll see me little on Christmas morning, so it should be a good one. Oh, come on. Yeah, it should be a good one. I do love Christmas. It's always been a favourite holiday of mine. I look forward to it nearly every year. Last year I didn't. Last year it was going to be a bit of a, I didn't really want to do it, but fuck it. Mr. Bolter, Alan Bolter, your question, what was I doing with WD-40 in the bathroom? Good sir, it was not in the bathroom, it was in my bedroom. What happened was, well, I should go into a bit of detail. My bathroom is very small, so I don't take my new clothes or anything I need in there with me. I literally get a shower, and then when the room's completely dripping wet, I go out of the shower into my bedroom to get dressed, because that's where my clothes are dry and all my stuff's dry, and it's just, it's easier. So that is why it happened. The only reason the WD-40 was on my desk instead of the ground next to my desk is because I'd used it the day before or the day before that to lube up a chain on my bike, basically. I'd stepped out to lube up my chain, used WD because my chain lube ran out, and that was basically it. I just left it on my desk. Like a clumsy fecker, I picked it up and squirted myself with it. It smelled lovely though. Bollocks, I forgot forgotten the next question already. I'm going to pull over again. So that's all today's going to be, is me pulling over every now and again, looking at my phone and going, yeah, okay, I remember. That's terrible from memory. I'm trying to do it in order as well. Raining. Son of a bitch. I'm going to go out of order here. Skeggy Cruisers question. Hardest thing I've had to overcome in biking, and then worst habit. The hardest thing to overcome for me, well, it's rather hard to describe really. I'm actually, I wouldn't say a natural on the bike, but I've taken to it like a duck to water. It's not been a problem for me. The hardest thing for me was proving to other people that I had the skill to ride the bike, because they were all of the impression I was just a youngster getting lucky and showing off and whatnot, but I wasn't. I had the skill, I could ride the bike, but it was just making other people see that. Like on the test, I was worried, like sick, that I wasn't going to be able to do it. You know, she would be. I mean, it's a lot of money to do the bike test these days. I was literally worried sick one morning before my first test. I hate tests. Alright, my worst habit, overconfidence. I know, it's what the instructor said and it's what I believe. I did have too much confidence. I mean, I was very confident in my abilities, and I know how to ride a bike. I mean, it's obvious. I've got a license and I passed my test first go. It's obvious I know how to ride a bike. But as he said, overconfidence was my biggest issue. And I believe him now because I've seen it myself. You know, like I'll believe, I can do that, and then I'll get into the corner and I'll think, no, I can't. Fuck. But yeah, so hardest thing to overcome through riding was the tests. They made me sick. Oh, I didn't sleep right, I wasn't shitting right, couldn't eat food. On the morning of my Mod 2, I was up 3 hours before the test and I just sat around the house. I didn't want to eat, I didn't want to sleep. It was horrible. It's miserable it made me. But then again, passing the tests were the best things I've ever done. It made me feel, you know, enriched, if you will. On the other hand, but that's the hardest thing about to overcoming biking. Like I say, ducks of water really. They said, on the day I went to try out their 650, because I had my 125, I'd been riding for a few weeks, and I went down and I said, I want to do my test on a bigger bike. I'm 19, you know, I'm allowed. No, I'm not 19. I was 24 at the time of going down there. So I'm 24, I'm old enough to take the full category license, and I want to do it. And they said, okay, don't get ahead of yourself, lad. Just let's have a go on the smaller bike first. Let's have a go on the 650 and see how we get on. I'm like, okay. So basically, it's already set up for the CBT. What we're going to do is we're going to make you do the Mod 1 test, basically. See how you fare up. And I did it perfectly. I struggled moving the bike by hand at first because it was a lot heavier than I expected. But that was it really. Jumped on the bike, did the zigzag, figure of 8, slow ride, did everything first go. You know, it was as if I'd been riding the bike for months. A lot of the lessons I felt hindered by other people, and I don't want to be nasty about it. But, you know, like there was one guy, he was going so phenomenally slow that I got ahead of them and I had to pull over and wait for them to catch up. And that made me feel terrible because all lesson it was just me getting barked at to slow down. And then the instructor thought it'd be a good idea to put the other lad in front. And then I was getting barked at for constantly being up his ass, because basically I'd come out of a junction and he'd be there sitting at 20 mile an hour and I'd be like, oh fuck. I can't even tell you how many times during that lesson I had to panic brake because he was going too slowly. And then there's the fact that Where are you, bugger? There you are. You know, it was different skill sets going out together. And I felt hindered by the lad. Yeah, he's a nice enough guy, but God, it felt like he was slowing me down. But I really resented that lesson because all it was me getting yelled at the whole time. I mean, admittedly, the instructor did pick up on it and say, "Come on, mate, you are going way too slow today. You've got to pick up your feet a bit. Me and Dan keep crashing into the back of you." But it made me feel like shit because then I felt like it was me who was a bad rider. You know, I felt like I was the one failing. But it wasn't me. It was nothing to do with me. It was just the fact that this lad was riding too slowly. Alright, Tony Lewis. I don't shave my legs. I'm not gay, honest. It's funny, I just got reminded about your question by that lorry and the fact that I looked at my phone. I don't shave my legs. I'm not no fucking sissy boy. The voice. Oh, voice. Your questions. Now, they were very thought-provoking. As for the atomic weight of fudge, I don't know. I wish I did, but I don't. I googled it and it basically just boxed me head looking for the atomic weight of fudge. I can't believe I actually went looking for the atomic weight of fudge for you. But I did. Worst hangover. Now that is quite an easy one. I'd been to a house party and the young lady in question said bring a fair amount of liquor because obviously it's going to be a big party. So I went out and bought 2 bottles of clear Sambuca. Now, not little bottles but big ones because I'm always about being big. Anyway, got to this house party. There were 3 of us there. Me, a friend from work, and the girl in question. House party was a complete fucking waste. But rather than let the evening go to waste, we ordered pizzas and then drank. Now I pretty much polished off the 2 bottles of Sambuca on my own. And to finish the night, did a flaming shot. That was a mistake. From my house to where this house party was, it's a 15-minute walk. I'd gone on my bike because I didn't want to walk. It took me 3 hours to get home. I fell asleep on a barbed wire fence and puked up in about 3 different people's gardens. It was horrible. I made a mess of myself royally. To add to my injury and insult, the hangover lasted 3 days. Well, the shitty feeling did anyway. The next day I woke up and I was meant to be coming over to here, strangely enough, to do some work for my uncle. Meant to be starting at like 9 o'clock. So anyway, I wake up at about 9:30, 9:45, looking and feeling like absolute shit. Room still spinning. Threw up twice before I made it to the front door. I thought, right, I've got to go. It's work. I've got to do it. Thusly, I jumped on my push bike and set off. Now, unfortunately for me, I then came off my bike. Oh, speed bumps. Boom. Yeah, I came off my bike going down Fairy Lane towards crossing the river and skewered myself on my handlebar. I then lay at the side of the road vomiting for the next 20 or so minutes while an old woman stood over me going, "You alright?" Of course I'm not fucking alright, I'm dying, you bitch. Anyway, so yeah, that was the worst hangover of my life because it just lasted. I got to work, my uncle sent me home because he was like, "Dan, you're fucked, get home." I'm like, okay. I could only drink water for 2 days and then by day 3 I started to feel normal again, but not 100%. Suppose I should continue with the voices question. Sorry, I just had to stop in to see my uncle. Of course, it means no time at all to you because I'll just snip it together. So yeah, Alright, now this question provoked a lot of thought, and to be honest, even now while I'm riding around, I've had 2 days to think about it. I don't have an answer. Dream job. I don't think I know of anybody with a dream job. Obviously, a dream job would be a job where I don't have to do much, but I get paid a lot of money. Now, I was talking to one of the guys at Brett Motorcycles, where I've just had my new indicators put on, and he was saying exactly what I think about the topic. You know, he loved bikes, and now he works with them like 6 days a week, so he doesn't go out much on them. He doesn't actually go riding much, whereas I went out just the other week for a full day out riding, and he says I don't do that anymore because, you know, I'm on them all the time. So that's what I was thinking about, you know, like, if you do a job that's something you enjoy to begin with, then you're going to get bored of it. Well, not necessarily bored, but, you know, you're going to eventually start to enjoy it less, because it'll be your everyday routine. Especially if it's something you really enjoy. Like, for me, biking is a lot of my life now. I'd hate to have to do it all the time, because you'd get fed up. So I don't really know what my dream job would be. I've always enjoyed the idea of growing things, but I'm not a farmer. I don't have the technical skill to be a farmer and grow crops. Nor do, you know, it's a high risk business. If you have a bad year where nothing grows, it's game over. Well, it can be, especially if you've wasted all your money on your startup. So I don't really know, to be honest, mate. Between your atomic weight of fudge and this question about the dream jobs, I really don't know. Like I say, I'd like a job that's very low work for a lot of money, but that's never going to happen. I suppose I've got a balance, really, because my job is okay. You know, I get away with, I do 48 hours a week, do 2 days, 2 nights. The time off's good. They give me 20 days a year holiday, plus special bank holidays. You know, it's not that bad. But as for a dream job, I couldn't even begin to fathom. I mean, a load of people may have an idea of what they want to do for a dream job, but my dream job is to be a millionaire and not have a job. That's it for me. Literally, since school, all I have done is work. That's all I've ever done. I work, I go home, I sleep, I get up, I go to work. On my days off, I have time with family. If I get a chance, I'll go for a motorbike ride. But that's if I get a chance, you know. If I don't get a chance, I'm knackered. Yeah, very difficult question there, mate. Well done on that one. You've actually stumped me. But I don't know. Because if you have a job you enjoy, great. If you have a job that's your hobby, game over, because you'll eventually get bored of it. I don't know. It's a really difficult question to answer.